Greetings and welcome to The Thirsty Mage, the podcast that knows whenever something is given, something will be taken away. I am your host for this one, David Lloyd, and while we wait for a bunch of new RPGs to come out, we thought we'd just have a little bit of fun and maybe tempt some karma to discuss a few what-if scenarios. Joining us tonight, but declining to discuss what if Activision Blizzard didn't suck, it's Casey Gibson.
I remember the days. Well, I guess that they were never really great when they were together, but Blizzard used to be good.
Yeah, there's a few different reasons why they suck. Hopefully they can turn things around. You never know.
Come on, Microsoft.
Yeah. Microsoft, they've been getting some doing some good here and there, so maybe they can change the culture, get things back turned around. Who knows?
Yeah, it seems like they are finally starting to listen to the fans and getting the old guard out of there. So hopefully, we continue to see some good things. But they definitely have a tough hill to climb with all that crap going on.
Yeah. And also joining us, but refusing to discuss what if we get a mid-recording live birth of our newest GRPG fan, it's Paige Chamberlain.
I don't know. There might be a CRPG fan. They'll be playing Fallout all day, every day. You can never truly influence what a kid likes.
Yeah. You'll have to try to raise them right. Even when you try to raise them right, it doesn't always work out. So who knows?
I know they might pick up a football or something.
Yeah. Or
they might like Octopath Traveler.
or their kindergarten teacher. Their kindergarten teacher will convince them to be a Montreal Canadiens fan. I don't like. What can you do? You can only control so much. But
yeah.
All you can hope is that they find the light one day.
Unless you're I was actually still thinking of something. Now I've just changed my mind on one of the later questions because I was like, there's some games that are entirely about raising your kid to a specific ending. So.
Well, speaking of kids, I know you're not too far away from when yours is coming around, and I was curious what games you're going to be showing off or their first look at what games. I'm sure you've got a Switch packed for the trip to the hospital.
Yes, I rearranged my games because I was like, well, I don't know, like if everything's fine, probably be in hospital less than a day, but you never know, and you got to stay awake when you're feeding them. So
Yeah, that's right.
I switched it around because I have mostly in my packets like the co-op games, so I switched it around to some of the life simulation games, like the easy ones like Go Vacation, some backlog, really like things I haven't touched in ages. Visual novels. I think I have a lot of digital visual novels too that I've recently like powered up. So I've used the Switch grouping folder system to put them together.
It's like the where people will play classical music so that their kid can hear, and I'm sure you're exposing them to video games, some really good OSTs.
Yeah. Well, I was like, part of why I'm going to pick up the Switch port of Persona 5 Royal will be like, that's a good game to play while you're stuck up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I know Perry, when he had, his child, like the game he played, I forget what it is personally, but I know for him, he was like, it just, like, that's like one of his favorite games because obviously, right, associated with such great news and exciting things going on. So, it'll be good to sort of have a couple games stocked and see what's feeling it.
And I know tomorrow the new Tiger game is coming out physically in Australia, so I'll be probably playing a bit of that.
They got to hold on for at least 24 hours so that you can pick up that game.
Well, if not, I can send someone else to pick up my pre-order.
Get an Uber to pick it up and drop it off. They do anything these days, right? Isn't that the commercial?
Skip the dishes.
Extra instructions for many log drivers to also pick up.
Don't forget the pre-order bonus.
I don't think there was one for this, but
always laugh going into, I think the last, I don't even remember what it was. I pre-ordered something, went and picked it up, and they had Pokemon cards for pre-order. Just like a, oh,
Yeah.
well, here, take this with the thing, which I thought was kind of funny because I was under the impression there was a Pokemon card shortage. So
Not on those ones. They're probably a dime a dozen. The ones
yeah,
that you give out. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
those,
always nice when you go pick up a game and you get the little extra bonus goodie, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know.
yeah. Some of the more memorable ones I can think of is I got sleeves. Those, I don't know if you pre-ordered arms, but the GameStop gave out. It's
Oh, yeah, that wasn't
like a
in
sleeve.
Australia, but those would have been cool.
Like fake tattoo sleeve, but
Yeah,
it's like arms.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Um,
amazing.
that when I was a kid, there was like the like I forget what the show was called. It's like some American, like those chopper type motorbikes, like the big ones, and it was like that, like they were doing up those sort of bikes. And there was a show bag for that, and there was an sleeve, like fake arm sleeve tattoo of like flames and that, and I wore it all the time.
That's amazing. I like my
uh,
favorite. I think pre-bonus was with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, the PS5 version. It was like pre-order it and you got the Steelbook, which I'm not like a huge Steelbook fan. Like they're cool, whatever. And I did it, but then there was no like they're like, oh, we didn't get any of those. But then Kate asked someone else, and they're like, oh, we got one. Like you can have it. So I was like, oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I think I guess I can't really think of what's a good proto bonus. I like when I've got like some stickers I still never use, the sticker sheets.
Yeah, yeah, they
Antonio was
always
doing
look
that for
so
a
good,
while.
but you don't know where to put them. It's like,
Um, I've got pins. I've got like a Joker pin with Persona 5 Strikers, and then I've got like a little Joker mask pin with Persona 5 Royal. So maybe pins are a good one, even though the only place I could wear them to is like my work uniform, and now it's like without work, it's like I don't have anything to put pins.
I got one that I found I still have in the packaging. It was from Pokemon Pearl on the DS,
Yeah.
and it's like I mean, honestly, it's like a really ugly looking stylus.
Oh, yeah,
But it's like,
people were complaining about like the proto bonuses of Pokemon nowadays are just digital stuff that you can get at the
yeah,
start of the game, right? And then there's a picture of like those
couple new
styluses and some ugly
Pokeballs.
little figures, and it's like I'm so sorry that I.
Honestly, the coolest thing I think about the stylus is that it's like that old like cardboard with like the little like I don't even plastic over it, but it's like form fitted. And like to me, like it looks cool, like the whole package together more so than just the stylus. So good old DS days. I guess actually pre-order bonuses back in the day, right when they gave you for GameCube the Zelda collection,
Oh,
and you
that's
got like
actually
that was probably the best pre-order because it was
um
like actual value.
my
Yeah.
I don't know how is it the which collection one is that, because there's a few different things on the GameCube.
It's the one that was like, it came with, I believe, all of the like console Zeldas, right? Like, the original.
Okay, because there's one with Zelda 1, 2, Ocarina, and Majora's.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
that's the one I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
because that's actually something that's I think what I got for my birthday was I was looking up trying to get a cartridge of Majora, and then I saw this other thing, and it had like those four games on the GameCube, and I double checked because there's a few different things on the like I've got the Wind Waker that comes with a Ocarina of Time plus Master Quest disc. But then
Hmm.
yeah, there was this different thing that I hadn't heard of, and in Australia it came like in its own little cover and with the not for resale, because I think it was like a bonus for buying the console or something. But I looked it up online, and then there was double packs because Power Regions the same with Europe, so I could get like European copies, and it was bundled with Mario Kart Double Dash, and I didn't have Mario Kart Double Dash anymore, so I saved a tiny bit of money by getting Mario Kart Double Dash with the Zelda disc packed in,
That's pretty sweet.
because
Yeah, it's not bad.
they were both selling for about 100 each. So I got it for like after all the shipping and stuff, like 160. So
Not too bad.
yeah,
It's a lot better than the medallion I got for buying pre-ordering Cyberpunk 2077.
Medallion.
They should have just given you your money back.
Well, at least, I think because we were talking about something else, but I think with the digital goodies of Cyberpunk, you got like the 2020 RPG book, like digitally with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like you said, nowadays, like, oh, you get 10 extra Pokeballs and potions when you start your game. Woo!
Yeah, it's nothing. Oh, and then there was like pre-order bonuses, like only for digital, like, and there are still, right? Sometimes you can do the upgrade packs or whatever, but like on the 3DS, it was like you get this theme, but only if you pre-order it digitally. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Blizzard does that with like Warcraft. Like, pre-order the expansion and they'll give you like an extra pet or something. And then then they have the different tiers, and it's like, well, if you get this one, you get all this extra stuff.
Yeah, when I pre-ordered the Pixel remaster, I got like
discount.
Well, yeah, I got a discount, but I also got like a few songs, like digital songs that apparently like play in the Steam app or something.
Yeah. Whenever you get like a soundtrack on Steam, you can literally go to your folders and like copy and paste it somewhere else. So
yeah,
you don't need the player.
You can steal
for
it from Steam.
Yeah. Steal it from Steam.
So it's good to have like the actual files. I swear I thought of something that was a good pre-order bonus, and now I can't remember because I got distracted by Zelda.
Yeah, every once in a while, I think they've got some cool ones, but I think with just the whole digital goods now, it's like, oh, this is literally we don't have to do anything. Yeah,
in the game.
Yeah. Oh, remember, what was that game? I forget. You get the was it something in Animal Crossing? Maybe you get like the Nintendo T-shirt in game, maybe for Splatoon or something.
No, Breath of the Wild had that.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that was it. Even
if you buy
worse.
The season pass, you get the Nintendo Switch
worse.
shirt, which is very funny when you buy it on the Wii U and then you're running around on your Nintendo Switch shirt on the Wii U.
That's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the game it would look worst in. Like at least Animal Crossing, it might be sort of cool. But yeah.
Well, and I think when you wore the shirt, you couldn't wear armor too, right? So like it was like an actual disadvantage to wear the shirt.
Defuncto hard mode.
Yeah.
Well, some people play that game shirtless. So.
That's David. That's because he's a perv ball.
Yeah, or there's like the day one stuff, or like in the Wii U 3DS era, there used to be a lot of the game plus amiibo, so I'd usually buy those bundles, and then I eventually checked out those boxes.
Yep, yeah. Good old pre-orders.
Well, before we dive into, I have a few what if scenarios or kind of monkey paw questions for later in the episode. But I thought maybe we just start with. I know we're all kind of I don't know in the limbo or in between games, waiting for something to kind of catch our attention, or at least I know that's the way I am. I've been I was blessed with decent internet. So I've been like downloading games like crazy and just playing them for like a couple hours and moving on. So I downloaded the Cyberpunk PS5 version just
that's
to,
when
to
you
give
know
it
it's
a go.
bad.
Yeah, just to remind myself, I was like, yeah, it looks nicer, but it's still not my favorite game. So I went through that. Now the one game that I am enjoying right now is which I thought was hilarious because I knew that Deathloop ended up in the Game Pass because this is a Bethesda game. Just to remind everyone, so Deathloop came out last September, I believe it was, and this was a PlayStation exclusive. And even though it was a Bethesda game, because Microsoft, like before this deal was made, Sony and Bethesda made this exclusivity contract for a year. And then Microsoft, bought them, but honored the deal. So I think it was almost to the day that the year expired. Bethesda or Microsoft, I guess, threw this in their Game Pass, so now it was free. So I downloaded it to Game Pass and I was playing it a bit, and I was even testing out the on my Steam Deck. I've got the cloud version, like the cloud Xbox Cloud, xCloud loaded on my Steam Deck, and now that I had good internet, I thought I'd give that a go, which is plays surprisingly well. I was surprised. Apparently, having good internet does make all the difference for a cloud game.
Well, I was gonna say,
But
you're like, wait, these cloud games aren't supposed to be 10 frames a second?
yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's what I thought was funny is like the day Stadia died was like the day I got my new internet. So
Yeah,
that's
Stadia had to die for David to get good internet.
yeah, it was, and I'd make that decision again and again.
Well, you
I'd
can
pull the
actually get
trigger
Stadia.
on that shotgun to Stadia's throat every time.
I mean, you never got Stadia, right? No?
No, I know.
Oh,
My internet was like
oh,
when
that's true.
Stadia was
Yeah,
first announced. It was like I was getting like 5 megabytes per second, and then I ended up getting a slight upgrade about 15 megabytes per second. But now I'm up to a gigabyte per second. So
yeah.
yeah,
Welcome to the year 2022, dude.
I was gonna say, well, welcome to the now. But yeah, so I played it for I played it for a couple hours, I guess, on Game Pass, and I'm not overly thrilled with the Xbox controller. Like it doesn't feel great to me. I don't know if it's just not used to it. It just doesn't feel great. And I thought to myself, man, this would be pretty. This would be a fun game. I bet you it's more fun on PlayStation. And so I was kind of getting bored, and I was going through the PlayStation Plus catalog, and just kind of zoomed by Deathloop and realized, oh, so as soon as the exclusivity ended and it was put into Game Pass, Sony decided to stick it into the PlayStation Plus for free. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll play it here. So I ended up downloading it to my PS5, and yeah, it's I like it better. I just like playing first person shooters on the PlayStation more. Really, I like the controller, and they've done a whole like using the PS5 controller. They've done a lot of extra fun stuff to the game. But basically, it's kind of Bethesda's take on a roguelike, I guess is the best way to put it. Because the way it works is kind of the general overview is that you play as this guy Colt, who kind of just wakes up on a beach on this deserted island, and so he kind of walking up and there's 4 areas of the island. There's kind of like a residential area, a complex, kind of like a commercially area, and then there's like kind of this cliff area where the security detail is, and so you get onto you wake up and you're starting to kind of Colt has no memory of what's going on, and this he goes into this tunnel and he picks up this radio, and this girl named Juliana starts just chirping him like nonstop. It's really funny. The comedy in this game is terrific. But Juliana starts chirping him about being a jerk, and so he kind of stumbles. The game kind of leads you to his house or his apartment, and the pieces, it's kind of like these puzzle pieces are being kind of placed where it's like he's starting to realize what's going on, and kind of the whole premise of the game is that this island keeps repeating the same day over and over, and Colt was part of the group that set up this base on this island to kind of research and take advantage of this looping day. But Colt had decided to try to break the loop, and Juliana is there to protect the loop. So you're just reliving this day. So there's like I said, 4 areas that you can explore, and there's 4 times of the day, and each area is different depending on the time of day. So you got morning, noon, afternoon, and night, and so you explore different places, and there's different people there and different things going on at different times. And the game really holds your hand at the beginning. Like the first couple hours, it really is like here, go to this place to learn this thing, and then go to this area next to learn this thing, and go to this area to they're basically kind of the hand holding kind of ends to the point where they show you how to keep your gear at the end of a day, because at the end of the day it loops back to the beginning of the day, and you lose everything unless you collect this item that lets you infuse different items with this mineral, and then when the loop restarts, you actually get to keep the gear. So like I've got like 4 or 5 guns now that will start over at the beginning of the day. And yeah, it's pretty neat. Like there's it's a first person shooter, but that's not really the focus,
Main
I guess.
focus.
Like yeah, it's more of it really motivates you to do things stealth, like not, oh well, me, I like to run and gun, so that's what I've been doing.
Yep.
But they really want you to kind of sneak around the island, take out people silently, and explore the different areas, and really piece the story together of what's going on. And then Colt eventually, after the first few hours, Colt eventually figures out how you can break the loop. And now I'm in kind of the part of the game where it's like, okay, I know how to break the loop now, but now I have to figure out how to do, like, actually achieve it. So it's this kind of like, I'm kind of going around trying to figure out the steps that I need to take throughout the day in the different areas to figure out how to break the loop. So it's pretty neat. And then when you get to a certain point too, there's actually 2 modes to the game. So there's like the main mode where you're Colt, but when you get to a certain point, you can actually play as Juliana in other people's games. So
Okay.
That's sort of cool. Yeah, so you can either choose to invade your friends. Like if you have a friend that's playing, it'll tell you like, oh, Casey's playing, you can go invade his game and kill him while he's trying to play. Or you can just do a rando. And so after a few hours, I thought, okay, I'll go be a rant. Like I started invading random people's things and shooting. so I mean, I'm sure it'd be more fun if it was your friends that you were sabotaging their gameplays, but it's pretty fun. There's a couple people that got the best of me though, so it's not all one-sided. They outsmarted me. I'm big enough to admit they got the drop on me. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check this one out, especially for free, right? I mean,
yeah, you can't beat the price.
Can't beat that. Yeah, it definitely looked cool, and it seemed like I remember the reception seemed pretty positive when it came out. So
yeah. A lot of style to it. Like there's the music's good. There's a lot of text like embedded in the scenery, I guess. Like there's almost like this narrator that's telling you what to do, and so you'll be walking along, and on the wall it'll say like, cool, do this or whatever, and he's like, oh, okay. So there's a lot of direction, especially at the beginning, and then it kind of opens up a bit where it's like, okay, now you can kind of go wherever you want to go. But yeah, it's definitely like good for like it's really done a good job of explaining like what to do and how to get a lot of enjoyment. A lot of crazy guns that that I found. Like it's kind of it has that Bethesda feel of like piecing together weird guns and stuff and having kind of Fallout style. So it's pretty fun that way.
Does it have that trademark Bethesda jank to it?
No,
it's Arcane, funny. Not Bethesda.
Yeah,
it's Bethesda's like their publisher, not the
publisher. Yeah.
Oh, so it's
it's by the Dishonored people.
Yep. So yeah, it actually feels pretty smooth. Feels pretty good.
It actually feels good.
Yeah, it's not Fallout. Not Fallout first person shooter combat. That's for sure. It's actual good. Like there's a lot of like you can run and slide, and you can do like double jumps. There's different powers that you can get, like you can phase shift and camouflage and stuff. Like it's got a bunch of crazy stuff. So
sweet.
Mm-hmm. How about you guys? Anything catching your fancy these days? I know, Casey, you're still must be neck deep in Lich King.
I'm in the grind. Yep. Yeah, pretty much been playing a lot of Warcraft, a lot of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. It's so good. I think last time I talked, it was like your first main goal is you got to hit the level cap. Then it's sort of start gearing out your guy. in the beginning before the raids open, you go dungeons and doing different quests to get rep up with certain people, and you could buy gear that way. And then actually just yesterday, or 2 days ago, excuse me, it's Wednesday, we went through and did the raid on the 10-man difficulty, which is easier. But honestly, the first pretty much tier of rating is in this expansion is really easy, and then it ramps up to the second one. So it wasn't really much of a challenge, but it was still super fun to go back in there. And like I said, at this point, I haven't played that raid in like 12 to 13-ish years, give or take 14. I don't know, something like that.
Man, can't believe it's been that long.
I know, absolutely crazy. So it's been a long time. So definitely still enjoying the nostalgic drip, or really it's more like a waterfall. And then we've been playing a little Cuphead DLC as well, which is super fun. I mean,
Did you see the collector's edition that's coming out?
I did not know. Is it
Oh,
is it amazing?
it's from I'm 8-bit. It comes with a Cuphead marionette.
Oh, that's amazing. And I wonder if hopefully it comes with an art book of some sort, because
I don't think so.
that would be. I feel like that would be a missed opportunity, just with how beautiful
really
that the art is to have a book to be able to flip through. The marionette, I'm looking at it now, that's unbelievable.
The game, the 8-inch tall marionette,
a music box,
6 like little comic things, poster,
interior artwork.
Yeah, no art.
I guess that's in the marionette box. That marionette's super cool. That looks awesome. But yeah, I got the DLC. It'd been something I wanted to check it out when it first came out, and for whatever reason I didn't. And then I was able to snag a little code action. So jumping in, as I sort of said on Talk Nintendo, is like, if you like Cuphead, you're gonna like the DLC, because it's more goodness, right? If you played the original and it was too hard, or you just didn't jive with like the repeated attempts to slowly progress and be able to overcome the boss, you're probably not going to like this, because it, like I said, more of the same. And honestly, that's a really, really good thing for me, and probably a lot of people out there who enjoyed the original. So and you get to play as a female character, Mrs. Chalice. Now you get another new character thrown into the fray. And does
that mean there's 3 players now?
Yeah, I get. Well, it's the story itself is that like she is a ghost, like somehow.
Yeah, because she's in the original.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So she's a ghost. So you're trying to like get her, bring her back, and like right off the bat, she gives Mugman a cookie, and he eats it, and then they shift places. So now Mugman's the ghost, and she's back in the real world, and it's like, wow, what a dirty dog. She just did Mugman so dirty. But then they switch back, and then you talk to the baker who made the cookie, and he's like, yeah, like that's for a really like very temporary, but I can make something that will bring you back permanently. But to make it, I need the ingredients, and they're held by some of the biggest and baddest on the island, kind of thing. So the idea is you're going around killing the bosses, getting the ingredients so that you can bring her back for good. So cute little setup. And again, the art is just top notch, and the music and just the presentation in general, right, is just out of this world. So if you like the original, and you can't go wrong with the DLC, and I'm pretty sure it isn't really too expensive for the DLC. So definitely something to keep an eye on if you are interested in that.
Cool. Paige, any games that you wanted to discuss before we hop into the questions?
And I haven't been gaming too much. I
understandably
have been in the mood very much, like for pretty much anything. But around like my birthday, I got a heap of eShop cards, and I bought some games some of which I regret, because I wanted some like relaxing, cozy type games, and I found Bear and Breakfast was very boring. And sometimes some of those games you look at, because like sometimes it's got to get into it before it's more challenging, but from the looks of it, it seems like it doesn't. Like it's too laid back, because it's a management game where you're running like this these little hotel things, but all you do is go grab items, craft, put more items to meet the requirements. You don't like manage. You just go in and like book more people in, and that's pretty much it. There's not like trying to make sure they have meals or anything like that. It's just so you literally spend so much of the time in the game just waiting around. So that was one I felt like was a waste of
true
my money.
mobile experience.
Yeah. And then I bought the. I wanna pull out the full title of the game. But give me a second. Shin-Chan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation: The Endless 7J Journey. Because that is the first time. So like it's a spin-off collab between the. I don't know if I talked about it maybe already. I don't know when's the last time.
I remember there was one of our buddies from who listens to Talk Nintendo that we've sort of been friends with now. I remember he was really excited about that game, and I think Alex might have played it as well.
I'm trying to remember if I actually talked about playing it or not already, but it's a color. It's like the Boku no Natsume series, which was like a Japan only series about like a kid going on his summer holiday and he's doing things like catching bugs and all that, just like relaxing, that sort of stuff. And then a crossover between that and the Shin-Chan anime, like manga series, except also there's dinosaurs in there. And that one's not too bad. Like I was hesitant to buy it for ages because it was digital, only like $60, but I got like an eShop card, so I just use that because it's not technically me spending the money on it, and it is a bit longer than I thought it was going to be based on some people's experiences. Except now I got stuck at like there's these bits where there's paper scissors rock battle, and there's a tournament on this particular day, and I looked up and the prize was actually something I really need. Like it gives you more access, like more of the game to play, and there's no checkpoint. So I beat the first three people really easily, but the fourth one has like double your health. So you're trying to beat someone paper rock scissors, and they've got like paper scissors rock with twice as much health as you. So you got to like not mess up at all, pretty much. That one's just I don't know if it's like worth the $60, like, or it has to be 40 American probably. Like that, the price is a bit steep, but I did like that a bit better. It's just I got stuck at a point that I don't, because like it's really slow too. There's no fast forward. So yeah, it's like I was trying to get in a mood for some particular games, and they really didn't quite work out for me. But I have played a non-video RPG recently. So we got the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, which we've learnt actually came out before the full version of Cyberpunk Red, so some of the things are a bit different. Like some of the mechanics are a bit more broken, or there's like there's less stuff in it, because it's like or D&D does similar things where it's just sort of like, here's the pre-built characters, here's like the basic rules, so you can do these scenarios and get a taste for the game. So we played a bit of that this week with some people, and we had a lot of fun doing things, and then trying to look up how do we calculate, like for example, how do we calculate how much damage getting run over with a car does. Apparently, like the previous version of the game, Cyberpunk 2020, had like, because that's from quite a while ago, that had like a car combat section, so you would actually. But we took a really long time to do the first encounter because but it started with the one person who had the cyber legs jumped to the weakest guy and grappled him, and apparently what he normally would do is like try to take the car and like run away basically, but he got grabbed immediately so he couldn't. And then someone else was like shooting at them, and then me and someone else got in the car and ran the two guards over to death because they're already at half health. So we took the other.
Take just ran them.
And then we bring the guy back inside, and we hear stuff pull up. So one of us decides to blow the guy's head off, just before we hear the people that pulled up asking for the hostage. So that was a great situation. He killed the hostage, and before they could, yeah. And
The
then
hostage is just in the bathroom.
and then at one point, yeah, and then they walk out, and one of them's dressed up in one of the other guys' uniforms because we also decided to pilfer the bodies. Even though like it's the jumpstart kit, so there's no like really inventory system or even like ammo system. Um,
Can you weekend at Bernie's the hostage? That would be my question.
I well, someone else was trying to consider what had to be persuaded to not wear another person's skin. So, oh yeah, that's like another thing is like um, I think we used a mechanic for it, but like normally when you're having two players interact, it's just either yes or no. But like there's a face-off mechanic where you like roll you cool plus this and a roll to see who like has an advantage on someone. So if you tried to start a fight with them, the loser would have like a negative skill check against them because they're scared. But yeah, we like rolled persuasion checks on each other and stuff to say no, you can't do that. And at one point, they threw one of the neighbors at the guards, which did pretty much nothing because we're like, do we calculate this as a ranged attack or is it brawling attack? Because if it was brawling, it would do no damage on the
That's got to be a ranged attack, right? You're
yeah,
hurled.
I think they calculate, but like, yeah. So we managed to do all of that in the first encounter of the game. But yeah, partly I think because it's like the kit came out before the full thing, so it's like slightly a bit busted. Like there's the burst shot thing where it's like if you roll something, you get extra bullets to deal more damage. Like you were just constant, they were like dealing heaps of damage, and then we kept dodging the bullets when they shot back at us. So I think my husband was doing the GMing. He's got some feedback for like, you know, just to modify, you know, give them extra because there was no melee weapons on the enemy, so they could all they could do was try to grapple, and then we kept dodging that as well. So he's just like, you know, just modify things because it was a bit easy for us. But it's
Sounds like
fun.
Take a few goes to get it to nail it, I guess.
Yeah, but it was really fun, and we got to do really dumb stuff. And then, but it was really funny though because, well, yeah, when we were looking up about, you know, what's running someone else over, we saw like an old Reddit thread from a few years ago, and someone was like, yeah, how do you calculate the damage someone takes when you throw them out of a car? Because I don't know what they were doing, but they apparently picked up one of the NPCs while they were on a car chase and threw them out the window at some point. And I really want to know what they were doing in that same scenario, like same setup initially. But yeah, it's pretty fun though. So looking forward to playing some more.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun mayhem for sure.
Mm.
Well, I guess we'll hop into the final part. I guess we could even call this. We're deep enough in now. I'll consider this a last call. So there was
last rounds.
yeah. I had just a few fun questions to go through. The first question is actually something I was thinking about the other day when I was looking at my list of the backlog and thinking like, there's I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna play half of these games. It's just not physically possible. And yeah, so I was thinking for the first question, so if you had the opportunity to just play video games from now until your end of the days, but the only games that you could play would be from this year or earlier. Like, you basically no more new video games. You have to play, like, they could be games you haven't played yet from the past, but you can't play anything past 2022. Would you do it?
See, the way you read it initially made me think, because you said full-time employment to only play and talk about video games.
Yeah.
So I thought, I could still play the new games. I just don't get paid to talk about those ones.
Yeah. No,
That's
I
the free
reworded
time
it.
games.
Reworded it. No more new games.
See, now that's like, I don't know.
It's
If it was
tough.
the other scenario where it was like, okay, my job is I can only talk about older games, that's fine. But like, that means no Oh, so the Bayonetta 3 is this year, so no Breath of the Wild 2, though.
No, that's true.
I
No
bet you
Pikmin.
got to give me a 2-week window so we can get Bayonetta in.
No Final Fantasy 16.
No Pikmin 4, no next, whatever
Part
the
2,
next,
Final Fantasy
next 14
7
expansion
Part 2.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I might.
No.
It's one of those things where, it's like, I would have to cut myself off from any video game, like future video game news. So then that way it's like, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Because,
you have to
like,
not leave the house. You'd have to not go on the internet.
Like, just in terms of pure, like, I mean, first off, screw a normal
disconnect
job.
your console from the internet so you don't see the ads for new stuff.
Exactly. But, like, there's so many games that, like, it would be great because, like, I will finally knock off all of my backlog games and then some, right? Like, however many years you got left, like, all that full time, you get to knock off all the games you played. There's so many games that I don't even know about that are out, right? That, like, you could definitely explore and find. Like, you would never be bored, right? Like,
Persona 6?
Yeah, like, even I haven't played Persona 5, so I can still rack that down.
That's
Played
eligible.
Bit, but yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it would be tricky, because there's some really good games coming out that would be awesome to play. But man, imagine like not having to do real work and just now. How well am I getting paid? Do I get to live lavishly?
Comfortably.
All right, comfortably with a house.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sign me up.
Like, where are you gonna plug your Switch in if you're homeless?
Yeah. Well. I mean, like, do I have to live in an apartment the rest of my life, or can I could keep banking and all that good stuff. If it was enough to bank money and keep moving on with my life, yes, sir. Because I said, it's like so many games out there. Like, oh well, now I'll get to go play all those great games.
Yeah. For me, it's one of those things. I'm not 100% sure I choose it, but I could definitely do it. Like, there's so many old games that, like you said, there's so many games I haven't played. Like, I keep wanting to play like Persona 3. There's plenty of like old RPGs. We were talking with someone last week that Aiden Moore that wrote the JRPG history, and we talked about a few games 6 times over. Yeah, there's like a bunch of. I've never played Grandia, Star Oceans. Like, there's tons of games that I'd love to play. That I just, like, to be honest, they're not going to be as good as new games now. Like, I'm not playing Star Ocean 1 over Final Fantasy 16. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And there's so many old games that I could easily play again. Like, I could easily play Skyrim again. I could play Persona 5 again, Persona 4 again.
Yeah.
I could play all the Switch
version and make it run worse than it did before the update.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, I think it was like it's even just the update. It wasn't necessarily if you paid for the extra content too. So. Yeah.
Well, and then Fallout 4. Like, there's so many games that I'd love to play again. Like, I could do it. I just don't know if I'd choose it.
Yeah.
It should be cursed.
Yep.
But
that is the curse of the monkey paw.
Yep.
I remember actually thinking of like, I mean, part of it's easy because I won't have like much of an income next year. But I was like, oh, what if I just don't get any new games next year? And then I remembered Breath of the Wild 2 isn't coming out till next year, so.
Final Fantasy
16,
and then some more stuff has been announced, but like there's ones I could wait for, and there's ones that I like.
And plus,
like, I want Pikmin 4 on release. I want Breath of the Wild 2 on release.
Final Fantasy 14 is probably they do like every 2 years, right? So they'll probably be getting close to a new expansion towards the end of 2023, I think.
Wasn't 7 Remake
Maybe.
The second game for 7 Remake could be the end of next year, couldn't it?
Oh, I sure hope so. I guess it might be tricky because that's when 16's going to come out, right?
Well, 16's in July.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that it got the earlier date.
Yeah,
oh, that's
so
gonna be
16,
such a good summer game.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why? It's because I was like, they're gonna delay that till Christmas time. Yeah,
no, it's already been delayed, so July should be
that's never
set
stopped
for
them
16.
before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if they take the strategy they did this year, they're just gonna shotgun all their releases, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Send them
Square
out.
Enix doesn't. They just send everything out. They don't care.
They're ready. Send them.
Yep.
Send them going.
So my next question, I had a very specific franchise in mind for me when I came up with this question. So, would you allow your favorite franchise to become blessed with yearly releases at the expense of the death of your second favorite franchise?
See, if you're an Atelier or Pokemon fan, you don't even have to worry. Because
Yeah.
That's true. So I was thinking,
or a big Call of Duty guy.
Yeah. If Legends of Heroes had a yearly English release, I would be willing to let Final Fantasy die.
What a monster!
Wow.
I don't think I would. I mean, first and foremost, I can't even sit here and tell you what my first two favorite franchises are. But for me, I'd say easy no, because you just get tired of games, right? Like, I used to love Fire Emblem, and then they just, like, I played so many of them in, like, such quick succession, it felt like, that it's just, like, now I'm like, bleh, you know? So for me, I would say no. I think part of what makes some of these, like Zelda, right? Like, what makes, I mean, obviously they're really amazing games, and, like, they're, you know, there's rarely ever a dud. If it's bad, quote unquote bad, it's like a bad Zelda game is still better than, 9 out of 10 other games, if not more than that, 99 out of 100. But part of it is that build and the hype and the waiting and I feel like I want to play this game so bad, and then you finally get it, and then it lives up to expectations, right? So I think, like, if there was, like, Zelda could very well be my favorite franchise, right? So if there was, like, a big epic Zelda every year, sure, it'd be cool, for no doubt about it, but I just think it might lose a little bit of that, luster.
Zelda is, like, the franchise I was trying to think of, because up until this year, it's like was yearly releases on the Switch. It's just, because they had remakes or indie games like the Cadence of Hyrule and stuff, and this is the first time where it's like, you got the N64 games. There you go. Like,
yeah, but those aren't. I mean, Cadence of Hyrule. That's not a real Zelda game.
Anyway, as far or like 1 year was Hyrule, whereas Age of Calamity. So, like, there's still spin-offs in between the main games, or give us another Triforce Heroes. But because it was supposed to be like a new Mario and a new Zelda every year on the Switch, and Mario's easy because you just pick a bad sports game and pump that out. But that's usually 2 games a year. But I can't think of, like, favorite franchise, because even if I think of it, it's like some of the later ones haven't been that good. Like, Pokemon is this every year, and I don't necessarily I'm gonna pick up some of the latest Pokemon games. And the ones that I do like to play often enough are yearly, or I can't even think of who would I kill to get more games out of. Yeah.
I stand by my it would be a tough pill to swallow, but
and, like, it would be, like, made public knowledge that you were responsible for that.
Oh yeah, I'd be on the first flight up there, ready to kick your butt.
and it would be funny if Square was like, and we had the whole Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy all done and ready to ship, and you just push the button. And now
Instead
he
of
gets his
separating the final 2 parts, we were just going to surprise release it all at once. But then David Lloyd of so-and-so Canada at this address, home phone number, and social security number said no.
He wanted his 18th Legend of Hero game. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, I got so the last question is kind of along the same lines. I'm going to change it up slightly here on the fly because I've got a little one. What game would you take today if it meant Breath of the Wild 2 would be delayed 5 more years?
I like how you've changed it. It's really funny because, what if Breath of the Wild 2 was the
Yeah.
Like when the first original question was, what game will you take to release next week to sacrifice another for 5 years? And my first thought was, me personally, I wouldn't take Breath of the Wild next week because I'm having a baby in roughly.
She wouldn't get to live all the hype.
Yeah, I wouldn't really get to play it for me. Yeah. But now you've just changed it to I was gonna sacrifice Persona 6, but you're like, no, you're gonna. I don't.
Well, what would you take today to sacrifice Persona 6?
My first thought was Pikmin 4.
Okay.
But now when I was thinking about the game that I'm really in the mood for and I really just want it now and would want to play it, given my circumstances, is the A Wonderful Life remake. Because that's that's not going to come out till mid-year in English next year. Mm-hmm. It's like a remake of my favorite game. It's the kind of game I want to play. I'll finally be able to play as a girl. There's some things that concern me about it, but it's what I'm in the mood for. And the last time I played a version of that game, I was recovering from surgery, so it's the same kind of lay in bed and play it vibes. But
I don't know. Choosing Persona 6 as your 5-year delay seems a bit of a cheat, though, because Persona 6 could be 5 years away from now.
Yeah,
well, you guys are overthinking this so easy. So, name one game to take for a Shadow Drop release next week would be, like I said, it's I wouldn't pick Breath of the Wild or whatever Tears of the Kingdom, even though that's probably up there in terms of how bad I want it. But it's in April, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that far off, so I could wait. I would probably go Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Part 2, because we don't have an actual release date. And sure, it could be a year, but it could very well be more than that. Mm-hmm. And what game would I sacrifice? That's easy. Octopath Traveler 2.
You guys cheater.
Yeah.
You son of
a good game.
You can't sacrifice other people's games.
I didn't see anywhere saying any stipulation that I couldn't pick Octopath 2.
Yeah, everyone's just like, oh, you got to think of a game you actually want, not just delay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that said a game I actually want to play.
That's why you changed it to Breath
of
the Wild 2.
This is like me saying, I'll take that Final Fantasy Remake Part 2, but I'll 5-year delay Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a game I really want to play next week, and I get a damn Jordan in the same, that's beautiful.
So what game do you want in exchange?
That's what Jordan. Yeah, that's what Jordan gets for missing the episode, though. He gets his favorite game, a 5-year delayed.
Yeah. Do everyone a favor. It's that would be a win-win. That's not a monkey paw. That's hitting the lotto.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with I keep calling it Breath of the Wild too. But even with Tears of the Kingdom, that if same situation, I'd still go Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
You'd get rid of Breath of the Wild for
Oh well, I mean,
too?
No, I mean if I had to answer the question, that's what I would go. If it was I wouldn't delay Tears of the Kingdom for 5 years for any game probably. But yeah, if I had to pick one, I would go Final Fantasy Part 2. Ooh,
I think you nailed that question though with Octopath 2.
Yeah, like I said, I like the original wording. It just works out for everybody.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that seems like the perfect place to end because I don't know how it's just a chef's kiss on. I wasn't.
Does Jordan listen to the ones he's not on?
Well, he's gonna have to now.
Yeah, hopefully he does, so he gets that little stinger there.
We just lie and say that we put in something that he said, edited it into the podcast.
Yeah, we'll just add him on Twitter. So apparently Octopath Traveler 2 is getting delayed by 5 years. Have to listen to the podcast to find out why. All right, jeez. Well, that'll be it for this week. We could have we'll wish good luck for Paige, because I guess you said it's 11 days make or break. There's going to be
the due date's like in a week, but if she doesn't show up for another 5 days after that, then I'm getting induced. So
we'll
fingers
have
crossed
one more,
it comes right on time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're wishing good luck. We're hoping you don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, I bet you the suspense is killing you, I'm sure.
Pretty much, yeah. I even cleaned part of the house.
Yeah.
I keep walking past and being like, what the heck? There's no longer a tower of cardboard piled up on the floor.
Well, it'll be a while before they can walk around and get into things. So it's you still got some time. So
I know I need to get shelf covers or something. Put a lock on the game room.
Yeah. Cover up those. Put all the games on shelves that are higher than they can stand.
How am I going to get to
them? Gotta protect those things.
I just gotta go to a storage shed every time I want to change games around.
Yeah.
Just keep
you
it
just
out
have to go all digital from now on.
Now I got mine there that are already inventorying what they're going to be taking to university with them. So.
Oh man, I remember that as a kid. Like
do
me
a
and my
stock
brother,
take
like
every few months just to make sure.
Like, I don't know who told you that game was yours, but just because you got it for Christmas, it doesn't mean it's leaving this house.
See, that's how do you not spoil kids on giving them access to too many games? And it's like, well, if it's a game everyone wants, then we'll get it. But if it's a game only they want, then it's a present.
Yeah, then it's a Christmas gift.
Yeah. Back in the day, we only got video games twice a year.
I would my birthday and Christmas, and then I definitely do. Like my mom would like hook me up sometimes with like a good report card. You know, she might treat me to. I remember, I forgot if it was a report card or like a really random Valentine's Day. Like I must have really wanted Donkey Kong 64. And maybe that was her excuse. Like, Valentine's Day gift. Like
whatever it takes, case.
Yeah, just shut up and play the game and leave me alone.
No, that's funny. Cool. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening, and I guess Paige's YouTube channel might be a little quiet for a bit while we wait for the latest party member to arrive. Yeah. And Casey, if you haven't already checked out Casey's podcast over at the Talk Nintendo podcast, and I know on our website, thethirstymage.com, there's a couple reviews I should have written by now that hopefully will be there by the time this episode actually goes out. So I'll get around to it. But thanks for everyone for listening, and we'll see everyone out at the next Thirsty Mage. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.